Good day, students. Our subject is BAF Global Finance with E-Banking, and this is Grace Nabanalan for our first topic, Module 1. So, Module 1 talks about the international financial environment. Before we are going to go into financial environment, let us discuss first what is international business. So when you say international business, you must be conducting business activities in at least three countries. So the first country is your mother country or your base country, and then you have business branch, or you are conducting business in two more for a total of three. And the main reason why most firms or companies are going international is that uh, they have the following goals. So number one is to widen customer reach. So they want to increase the number of customers. So their customers here in the Philippines is not enough for them to reach sales goals, for example. They want to become richer. They want to have higher profit. So number two is better profit sources. So same as number one. So while you are looking for further customers, you are also increasing your profit. Number three is diversification process. So maybe um, they want to add some more products. They want to try new things, or they want to explore new things. So diversification means they want something new. So they want to try other things. Okay, and number four, which is very common in international businesses, is to look for better resources. For those who are going into some of the African countries in general, there are some who come here in the Philippines, it is because they pay less when it comes to salaries and wages. Aside from labor resources, we have also inputs or raw materials, like they can easily get the plants, animals, things like that at a lower cost. So, for example, fishes in the Philippines are varied. So many. There are some firms who comes here and certain types of fishes for studies or for medicinal purposes. It's a lot cheaper here in our country than in countries that lacks, water, uh, rivers, ocean, so cheaper cost. I already mentioned that. And advantageous opportunities. So advantageous opportunities like the country they are in is very accessible to transport, like international transportation, or we have other factors, like for example, there's an advantage when it comes to taxation, there's an advantage when it comes to political. Okay, so why is it that international business is important? It is important because of the use of raw materials, new markets, and business opportunities. So when we say raw materials, we have the use of uh, input materials, like for example, the use of plants, or let's say sun, air, water, labor, machines, land, capital, and knowledge, skills of people. Okay? In the new markets, we have new customers, we have business opportunities, example, new ventures, other other opportunities uh, which are considered advantageous in the country. So one of the reasons why people or businesses go into international business is we have these materials parts, and if I'm going to tell you the story of Honda car that you see in here, the different parts of the car is not actually manufactured by Honda alone. So maybe the wheel comes from Japan, this one comes from China, the other one comes from Sweden, the other one comes from California, things like that. And they are being assembled. A very good example is this one, which is found in the Philippines. If you've seen Texas Instruments in Baguio City, Texas Instruments creates lots of computer parts, most especially chips, motherboard. What they do is that they export them. They bring them to Japan. They bring them to European countries. These chips and motherboards are used in the computers of appliances, and then these appliances are going for count, or it's going to be distributed. The, the presence of this demand, okay? So many customers or so many people look for these kinds of products. That is why we keep on looking at ways and means on how to make business a lot better for profit purposes, other purposes that usually serves the. So when did international business started? It's way beyond history. It's way beyond history. So it started long time, like 300 AD, and it's in history we see that the most common word that comes out is rivers. Okay? Rivers or bodies of waters like oceans. This is where businesses started or transactions started. Barters, for example, um, transfer of value to value, businessman to the other, happened in the Mediterranean, Red China Sea, in the seashores of these oceans, China Sea, Pacific Ocean, Mississippi River, and so on and so forth. So it's because civilization also had started in the rivers because of the factor of transportation. So we do not have planes before, we do not have cars before. So the first civilization that had happened that allowed people to move is the use of ships, the use of boats. Okay. So for the fundamentals of international trade, these foreign trades usually are not an exchange of instead there are cash payments and usually made for the items bought or sold. So just like when you go to the store, whenever you buy something, you have to pay it in cash. So same is true with international trade, whether you trade with China, you trade with Germany, whenever you get something, you pay it. So Korea, for example, can sell radios to an electronic store in the United States. Also, a computer company in the United States might sell its products to a retailer in Russia. Okay? And there are some factors that you have to consider when you're conducting some international activities. We have factors on geographic conditions, something to do with the place, how far are you with the place, so the distance, time zones, the weather conditions, the people, population is considered as geographic. We have also cultural and social, something to do with the people, their attitudes, beliefs, their and so we have also political and legal, so meant the conditions in there. bureaucracies, the way steps and procedures in offices. Legal means laws. So we have laws, policies, and regulations that deals with business activities, economic conditions. So rich, how poor, those imports and exports in those countries. Same is true. Inflation, the exchange rate of money, those are parts of economic conditions. And all these factors can affect your international business. So, what are you going to do? You have to become a global citizen. Or are you going to be considered a global student or a global person? You must have understanding of what's going. So, how can you become a global entrepreneur? You must understand the culture, understand ethics, understand the laws, certain that you are dealing with. Okay, and we have also awareness. So awareness of legalities, awareness of logistics, awareness of that type. Okay, so we have also so-called as dual economies. So is it possible that a certain country is going to have a dual? So in our country, Philippines, we actually have this. We have the so-called as the urban and the rural economy. So what happens? There are two separate economic sectors within one country. So this is possible. China also have this. Okay, and then much more with North and South Korea. So only a single country divided into two. So they're considered two independent. So dual economy means there is a separate economic sector with one place and the other one another different type of economy, but they can be considered as one. That's why it's called dual economy. So Julius Herman book described the coexistence of modern and traditional economic sectors in a dual economy. Dual economies are usually common in less developed countries like the Philippines, wherein you will see that the urban areas are highly advanced. You can see lots of banks, you can use ATM, you can checks in urban areas. You can easily transfer from one country to easy transfer. But when you go to the rural areas, there's a little bit difference. So countries which are considered less developed usually see this dual economy. Study also countries with dual economy. Aside from that, we have the presence also of economic systems. Economic systems can affect your international business in what way? Okay? You can be affected because of production method, because of decision making activities, and distribution of goods and services. So, how? Okay? There are two general subtypes of economic systems: market systems and systems. Times you might call the market systems as the laissez-faire system or the capital system. And for the plant systems, we have one economy. And if there is a combination of the free market system and plant or command economy, then we call it as the mixed economy. So a planned system is a country with an economy wherein decisions regarding the production of goods and services are usually central in nature to the government authorities. So usually to a government or to a department or an. So a very good example in here is we have North Korea. So the tons of rice to be planted is being determined by the government. Okay? The number of students that will enter a certain course is stated by the government. It is because the government does not shortages, let's say for example, shortages of doctors or surplus. Like just imagine if there are more doctors than patients. So that's for a planned system. The other one is free market system. So when we say free market, it is being characterized by the freedom to choose things, and most countries, almost 90% of countries in the world, are under this free market system, wherein the prices of goods are being determined by the laws of supply and demand. The same is true with this and other factors rather than the government. So if rice in the market is getting short, then you expect the price will go up. The government is going to enter only in a very small amount of control. Okay? Like for example, the government sees to it that there are no illegal business transactions that may, or let's say for example, the government protects the uh, consumers by placing ceiling prices or floor price. But that would be all. Okay? Basically, the market is considered free because there is no such thing as a country that does not have a government. The government is there to regulate and almost especially is in order to market. Since we are talking about business activities, I make use of the word market. Okay, so if the country is being planned at the same time, it's free market, or there's a certain degree it's there are some countries who say they are 50% planned, 50% free market. There are some who says we are 80% free market and 20% planned system market. It's a little bit difficult to say or measure, right, the percentage. But if there is some percentage from the plant and some percentage from the free market, then we call it a mixed economy. The Philippines is actually being classified as mixed at the same time free market system. Okay, so that's the end of our module 1, and I would like you to identify most and organizational structures of business, international businesses. So I would like you to concentrate in here. We have the goals. So why is it that businesses are going into the international arena? We have also described theories that justify international business. So why do they really go? We have also the common methods being used to conduct international business. You can make use of Google for this, and you explain the economic systems and how business. Okay, so that's the end of our slideshow. Thank you very much.